xinyaface.com. So spell it out. Let me spell it one more time. XINYAFACEDOTCOM. You spell the whole thing out. Rise and love, family. It is I, xinyaface.com. Here from my hotel room and sipping on some coffee. I got some coffee from that other place, one of those places, right? But I'm not trying to, give them any shine because I'm not getting paid or promoted to give them any shine, right? My brother was talking about that with deodorant on one of the previous like podcast episodes, but I did want to put on for vegan donuts just in general. Now, I'm not usually like a breakfast person, but it's the weekend or it's the long weekend at least. And I'm not usually a breakfast person anymore, except on the weekends, because my diet's kind of dialed in. My diet, and I'll talk about it a little bit, because I'm vegan now, but I have not always been. But give me a second. I'm gonna bite into this vegan donut, which is I think Marion berry with a lemon drizzle, and I already had a bite. You could tell I already had a bite, but okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Another little bite. Okay. Like my coffee hot, man. But anyway, so that vegan donut is delicious, and maybe I'll shout them out when I do the post. No, you know what? I'll shout them out now. It's Dough Hook in Salem, Oregon. Okay, if you're around, check them out. They got some delicious vegan donuts. I'm not from here. I don't live here. I do live in Oregon, but yeah, hopefully, folks ain't stalking me or nothing crazy like that. But anyway, Dough Hook in Salem, Oregon. Check them out. They have vegan donuts. So I have not always been vegan. I'm vegan. I've been vegan for about 2 years now. But prior to that, I was a vegetarian or mostly vegetarian for about 2 years, I think, something like that. And really, those moves were connected to the relationships I was in, the intimate relationships, the partner relationships I was in, to a certain degree. Now, part of that is due to, who had the access, who had the time, who had the focus, passion, energy to do a lot of the cooking. And I would say it had been my partners at the time. And that had some part of the responsibility, or some part of the catalyst was that. But separate from that was to do with my health and maintaining my weight and just having a healthy diet. Excuse me. I am a former football player. So a former athlete, I'm still an athlete, but former football player where, you got multiple practices a day, during some times of the year, you got workouts, you got running workouts, you got your actual games, right? Stuff like that. That's in the schedule on a weekly basis, right? So you're working around, moving around, doing a lot of active stuff throughout the week. So if you put a couple thousand calories in your body every day, that's only as long as it's not too crazy, as long as it's not 100%, 99%, 95% fat calories, you're gonna have it's gonna pay dividends for your athletic needs. So for me, for football, it worked, right? And it was varied enough. But I wasn't practicing kind of like really healthy eating habits after finishing up my football career. And so I kind of kept doing what I was doing and just thinking, as long as I work out enough, as long as I move my body around enough, it should even out, right? Like I should still get results. I should still, feel slim, feel strong, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I was just having too much fluctuation and issues with my weight, even when I was moving around. And it was like weight that I wasn't liking, and I wasn't feeling like good or healthy in my body. And so I started paying more attention to what I was eating. So as opposed to me being like, oh, I went from carnivore diet to vegetarian diet, and that was what it was. That's not what it was. I started paying more attention to what I was eating and how much I was eating, what I was putting into my body. And that helped me tremendously. So just being able to be conscious of, you know, and not so critical and not so specific for me, not so critical and specific where I'm like, oh, well, can't eat that because this and this and this, or this is too much, right? Oh, I've already had my max carbs for the day. Nothing that minute and focused, but definitely paying more attention, right? So being more conscious of the portions I was eating. And then when I started doing meal prepping, prior to, I mean, like this is the early days of me kind of starting to switch over to being vegetarian, because I was still eating eggs and cheese and at the time. I was doing meal prepping, and that allowed me to kind of really tailor and focus my stuff a little bit better, because then it was like, oh, okay, this is how much I eat for lunch, right? And then just dialing in like the snacks and stuff like that. And so I've gotten it dialed in. I had it dialed in before choosing to go vegan. And I had just heard lots of stuff about, you know, different celebrities or athletes, black celebrities and athletes who had gone vegan and, you know, touting its benefits and stuff like that. And I had already seen some results in my own life. And so I was interested enough in it after talking to different people that I know who were vegan at the time, or who are vegan, to get their takes on it and stuff like that. I was like, sure, I'll try it. I'm down to try it, like do stuff like that, to see if it has a benefit for me. And so I did it. The thing that was so crazy about it was just noticing or realizing how much stuff has like milk in it, or eggs or something like that you just don't pay attention to, like something like chips, stuff that you're like, oh, as long as it's not like a cheese flavor, it shouldn't have milk in it. Not true. So lots of stuff had milk in it. Lots of stuff has like eggs or, you know, stuff like that in there. You know, gelatin. And I love fruit snacks, bro. I love fruit snacks. Okay, me and fruit snacks got a thing going, and had to switch to a different brand because I was like, man, which is to my benefit because, you know, a lot of sugar and just like there's no, aside from like joy and smiles and stuff like that, there's no benefit to eating gummies, okay, like that. But I did like gummy candies and fruit snacks and stuff like that. But anyway, so yeah, being vegan for 2 years, I don't know if I'll be vegan forever. I don't have cravings for stuff like I thought initially when I was switching over. I was like, man, the hardest thing for me is gonna be going home to visit the family, and like my mom or my family cooking traditional family meals like for holidays and stuff like that. And so there's so much tied to what those flavors are and those smells, wired into your brain and into your memories and stuff. And so I was like, that's gonna be the hardest part. And there was a little bit of like food envy. The last time I went home as a vegan person and had to eat kind of separate stuff, but I was able to kind of enjoy the important stuff. The important stuff was the, you know, spending time with family. And I ate good food thanks to my brother. The chickpea dish, magnifico. Okay. But yeah, so, and please understand me when I say vegan gang or don't bang or stuff like that. I'm not hating on people who are eating meat. I'm not saying, oh, everybody needs to be vegan because the earth and carbon emissions and, you know, how hard it is on the environment, how hard it is on the animal population and the blah 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 blah. I would need to do more research, to be completely honest with you, because I don't know all the ins and outs about all that sort of stuff. I just know it works for me. And so, and part of it is the fact that I have my diet dialed in. It's not so much that it's a vegan diet. Like, it's helpful that it is all plant-based, I guess, to a certain degree. But just because it's vegan doesn't mean it's healthy. One of the first restaurants I went to that had vegan food was a vegan soul food place in Eugene, Oregon. It actually closed down earlier this year. Cornbread, delicious food, but it was like soul food, and it gave you the itis, made you sleepy when you ate it. Delicious food, but not healthy. at all. You know what I'm saying? So, I guess I'm saying all this to say, do what works for you. I had one of the kids that I work with talking about, and he's a massive guy. Like, he works out a ton, wants to be a bodybuilder, wants to do this, that, and the third. He's about 230, 240. And he switched over from kind of being carnivore or omnivore and into kind of more pescatarian. And he's like, later on, I want to transition into being vegan. What should I eat? And I'm like, you know what? Build it out in a way that works for you, because some of the stuff like going vegan can be really expensive, especially when you're trying to eat a lot of like fresh vegetables and stuff like that, or you don't feel like you have enough variance, especially if you're not used to cooking and trying different spices and trying different recipes and stuff like that. You might end up just having the same thing, or maybe it works for you to have like the same thing, or rotation of recipes and stuff like that. But the important stuff is to figure out what works for you. And so if I had any advice, any suggestions, any encouragement, it would be to figure out what works best for you. And as somebody who's got my coffee, got my vegan donuts, had a great workout yesterday out of nowhere. Didn't think I slept well enough to have a good workout, but I had a great workout yesterday. I'm fine with having donut and coffee and not gonna put any stress on myself. Oh, that's too much sugar, all that sort of stuff. But I just know I need to balance it out. I also have my fruit, in my bag ready to go for when it's time for me to travel back. And yeah, so just wanted to share. It's kind of stream of consciousness, like I do things around here at xinyourface.com. Make sure you visit the website xinyourface.com. Make sure you find me on different social media at XINYAFACEDOTCOM. That's TikTok, Threads, Twitter, YouTube. What am I forgetting? Instagram. So yeah, I'm definitely putting lots of different stuff out there. I'll definitely be posting a couple like pictures or clips from my workout yesterday on there, just as motivation and just to share with you guys. So I really do appreciate folks for tuning in. And until next time, it's been cool. It's been fun. And it's been cool fun. I guess so. Cool beans. Rise and love, folks. I'm out. Peace.